Welcome to Inside Outboards with your host, Cody Bass.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Big hello to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. And, well, we're going to get back on these Yamahas. At least, we're going to get back on this little 8-horse. Get it wrapped up. And then, I got another little something I want to work on. Kind of an outboard. But let's get back on this little 8 and see what we got. Let's get to it. So, doesn't sound right. Unless I give it a little choke, so that means either them diaphragms in that fuel pump, which is common on this little motor, or the carburetor's just dirty. So I'm gonna have to pop the cobby on this one and give it a cleaning. What's interesting is this is an 8-horse, and that carburetor is about the same size as I have on my little 4-horse. And that's something. Yeah. That little guy there has a carburetor that looks just about exactly like that one. But yeah, she don't want to run unless I give her some choke. This screwdriver's too fat to get in there. Find a smaller one. Prefer it to be longer too. I don't think it'll do any good, but I'm going to turn that adjustment screw out a little bit. Half turn, see what happens. See what happened. Alrighty, let's open this carby up, see what we get. Doesn't look really that bad inside. Pretty clean, actually. But she's got plug issues somewhere, so. There's my needles. And we'll run a wire down in there. Wire in there. Okay, so I got the car body all blown out and everything. Got all the jets. I poked my little squeaky through all the little holes, and I squirted some tri-flow through everything. But what's causing this carburetor, or what I find most often when they won't idle, and you got to keep them like half choke to keep them running, the problem is normally this. Look how crinkled that diaphragm is. Can you see that? See how crinkled up that is? And that's what's wrong. It's all stiff and crinkly like that. And same, this one ain't on the other side, ain't too bad. But that ain't gonna work. So I've got the new one right here, part number 6G1-24431-01. YAMAHA. So, I still need to clean the bottom up, the bowl. And here's all my Yamaha. I keep a whole box of Yamaha fuel pump stuff. Everything that you're gonna need. Because I do a lot of these little yummy snatchers. There's the other one I need right there. So that's the one I need. You can see it's got the little square hole. And I don't need the rubber bone. And I will, let's see, will I need that? I think I'm good there. Okay, so let me get it all put back together. But yeah, just pay attention to the order that things come apart. And get this old gasket, this old crinkly winkly, get him off of there. So let me get it all put back together. I don't think you want to sit here and watch me screw this thing together. I'll be right back. Well, I was out running around on the lake, you know, had my Yamaha screaming fast as she'd go. I felt a sudden jerk, I heard a loud pop. That old outboard came to a screeching stop. I pulled the hood and oh my God, I saw chunks of block and a connecting rod. I'll get home, it'll be later. Gotta paddle back to the ramp, get her on a trailer. So I really love that outboard, and I really love my boat. But my old Yamaha gave up the ghost. So I got her in the trailer, I put her in the yard. A week later and I'm still taking it hard. I guess I'll take out my gear and I'll drain the tanks. And when you pass by, I'll wave. You'll know me. Yes, you will. I'll be that guy standing there fishing from the bank. Well, I love that old outboard, and I love my boat. But my old Yamaha gave up the ghost. Yeah, that old Yamaha gave up the ghost. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. She gave up that gold. What do you say, Fred? Fred said, better get another outboard on that boat. He's trying to make a fashion statement. got a new cowboy hat. He's still miserable. Fret, say goodbye to everybody. Bye. When you're going back up with these little 8 Yamahas, you go ahead and put on the air box and get your bolts through it. You can hook up all the other stuff after you get her in. All right. Okay. And I use a little pick, and I also take the recoil starter off when I'm doing these. You just get that stuff out of your way. And we can hook up our little linkages of this. And so forth stuff, you know. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just using a little pick. And my big fat feiner, because I got big fats. Well, I know I'm gonna have to do something with this throttle cable and adjust it, because it ain't right. But let's get her hooked up and see if she will at least idle now. Hey, it's me, Billy Ray. I'm the best commercial fisherman in the whole North Territory. What do you mean you ain't subscribed to Cody Bass? You better get to subscribing. I'll come and I'll find you. And I'll fix you. And I'll fix you right. Choke, throttle. A little better, but now she's peeing. Neutral, reverse, neutral, She's a runner. She idlets now. She is the runner. Let that smoke clear out of here. It's mokey in here. Little on the mokey side. Sorry about that. And that. It's smoky. Put up my away my pick. Now something I didn't show you, but I've showed it in many of my videos. When I'm putting them diaphragms in there, sorry, it was upside down. Petroleum jelly. I put a little dab all over the little diaphragm. It thick plated. That's why I do that. I use a little petroleum jam. I don't use petroleum jelly. Petroleum preserves, perhaps. Yeah, put you a little, and I changed both of them out because they were just crinkly and everything. All hard, stiff, they won't run. But get you a little petroleum jelly, put that on there, and then it'll stick to the carburetor body or the plastic fuel pump part. So normally that's what it always is the diaphragms when they won't idle and you've got it. Well, this is for Yamaha anyway. With the Yamaha, the fuel pump is attached to the car body on this model. And so it kind of is my belief. To me, because I do a lot of these, there's a lot of them around. And it's not just the 8, it's some of the smaller ones. Even my little 4 has pretty much the same carburetor. And then some of the bigger ones. The fuel pump is part of the car body. And what I believe causes it, I've actually done a test to see if it does do it. And what it is those diaphragms. Being that they're hooked to the car bowl body, I believe when people spray starting fluid in the throats of these carburetors, it takes out them diaphragms. I've taken a diaphragm, laid it on my, sprayed it with the intake, and I just sit there and watched it over 2 or 3 minutes just crinkle up. So you can't be using intake, carb cleaner, that kind of stuff on these carbs that have the fuel pump as part of the carb. That's why, like an OMC, if somebody shoots intake cleaner into its throat or whatever, the fuel pump's clean around to the back side. It's safe. Even though it's a diaphragm fuel pump, it's not going to travel that far. But in these, I believe, and like I said, I've done a little test where I squirted it and watched it. So I believe these things, they get hard to start, been sitting for a while or whatnot, just get some starting fluid and shoot in there. And it'll fire over and everything, but then it won't idle. And you'll have to pull the choke on because the diaphragm crinkles up. You understand us? So, kind of debating here what I should do on my next engine. I got another one of these 8s, and it's going to be the same process. So I was like, I don't think I need to film it twice because it's going to be the exact same problem. It's going to be the carb and the diaphragms. So what I'm thinking about doing, I almost hate to. I got a couple routes I could go. It was raining here an hour ago. You can see everything's still all wet. But you see that big Yamaha 100 right over there? I might start on that one. I got a guy that wants to buy it. He's a friend of mine. But what I know about the motor so far, I have started it. It does not run well. It's the earlier generation's 4-stroke. It has 4 carburetors on it, all of which will need to come off and be cleaned. it was not cooling itself, so somebody went at the thermostat and snapped both thermostat bolts off. That is no big deal. I've showed you in past videos how I drill the holes and I would get those out. They're not flush, they are sticking up, so I've got a good 1/4 inch to grab after I drill the holes and heat them. But then it's going to need a water pump as well. I had it hooked to a hose, and you got to keep in mind your hose house pressure force feeds water into the outboard, and I couldn't get any water to come out anywhere. So she's plugged up, and I know the engine has been sitting for years, but he really wants something like that for one of his boats, and I said, well, I'll see if I can get that thing going. And when it came in here, the starter was laying in the cow pan, and the starter bolts are long since gone, so I'll have to source them. What else we got? Hey, I know, you want to see me work on a Subaru Robbins eccentric fuel gasoline pump? What does all that mean? It means they use that pump to actually pump gasoline. If you can see the spark plug, I don't know if you can see it, but the spark plug in that puppy right there is intrinsic. It's completely covered. It's got like a pipe instead of a spark plug wire, and then that is not the spark plug you're looking at. That's a cover casing that goes over the spark plug. And he says it's got no spark. Now, I have to ask myself, what's in that pump? Is it going to be full of gas? But he said, actually, that they only use that one to pump diesel fuel. So, we got that. Then, that one came in. I might even start on that one next. All he knows about it is that it's been sitting for a long time, and the guy told him when he last ran it, it would run for a while and then die, and then it wouldn't start back up till it was cold again. And I said, well, what I think I'll do with it is, because I have tons of it, I'm just going to replace the 2 coils in the power pack right off the bat. Then I'll have to do a water pump, and then I'll have him take it out and run it. And who knows else what I'll find along the way. So it'll be a journey. Then I got that. Same with that one. If you look at all the dirt right above the transom clamp handles and everything, she's filthy. Looks good under the bonnet though. That'll be a good seller. So, I'm not sure which route we'll go. Stand by. Got this Minn Kota trolling motor out of a dumpster, and I hooked it up, and it has 4 forward speeds, 2 reverse, but the head is broke off of it, but everything works. So I'm gonna see if I can come up with a fix for that. I took this piece of pipe here, hopefully you can see it, and I stuck it down in this pipe. Then I had this collar. I drilled through everything, put a bolt and a nut in there. Then on the inside, I welded to that pipe that little T cross piece, and then I put bolts through that with 2 nylocks and washers. So that ain't going nowhere. It's good and tight. Now I just got to put it all back together. I'll be back. There she is, all put back together. I got her hooked to my little battery power pack. You can see she's going to turn and swivel and all that mess. There's 1 forward, 2, 3, and 4 forward. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. And then there's 2 reverse speeds. 1, 2. So, got a little trolling motor now. so that we can go trolling, trolling, trolling. Keep those fish a rolling. But yeah, it's all back together and seems to work. Sad that somebody chucked it in the dumpster, but I'm glad they did, because now I got it. Okay, so that's going to be a wrap on this here video. Not 100% sure what I'm going to bring in next, but I sure got plenty to do. There's a couple more out there that I didn't even point out that need to come in here yet. But so we got this little Yamaha squared away. Got me a free trolling motor squared away. And so that's going to be a wrap. Thanks for watching.
More vids are coming on Inside Outboards with Cody Bass.